Hello, I'm John Jannarone, Editor-in-Chief of IPO Edge. Thrilled to be back here at Nasdaq MarketSite on this rainy New York day. I've got with me here Pete Clarke, who is a Senior Director at Robertson Ryan Investments. Pete, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Speaking of rain, Pete, I got to remind you, the day we met, I was running away from a tornado in Orlando, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is just our luck with this weather. Anyway, Let's jump into the interview here, Pete. Tell us a bit about Robertson Ryan, how you're different from other broker-dealers. For one, very importantly, you're founded by disabled veterans, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I know a little history about you, and that your grandfather was an Army general and the dean at West Point. So thank you for his service. We've talked about that a little bit. I did a little background on him. But yeah, Robertson Ryan is a service-disabled veteran broker-dealer. We are, we were founded in 1987, and then was as a small municipal shop, and then as Dan Roberts aged out, Dan actually got the legislation passed for veteran broker-dealers to get set-asides from the government. So in terms of trading and service-disabled companies in general to get set-asides for the government. So we're pretty proud of that. Then we bought the business from Dan 6 years ago, brought it back to New York, recapitalized it, and now we're over 40 people. We've given when equity capital markets, debt capital markets, secondary equity trading, secondary fixed income trading, and then we raise a little bit of money too when it fits us, and we can plug it into our network. We have a sister company called Kelson Asset Management. I'll get into them in a minute, but that's been going very well. But the thing that kind of separates us is the fact that we really give back hard dollars to veteran causes. Yeah. So we've given almost $2.5 million to veteran causes like the Robert Irvine Foundation buy these iBot wheelchairs. They're mechanical wheelchairs. They're $45,000 each for people who've been paralyzed or dismembered. Boulder Crest Foundation for combat veterans with PTS. Children of Fallen Patriots. The Commit Foundation. I don't know, so many. Navy SEAL Foundation. There's so many we've given to, over 50 over the last. We have like a very detailed impact report that kind of goes over the giving. So there really isn't anyone in the space doing what we're doing. We're unique in that way. Yeah. I think in general, all the veteran broker dealers bring something different to the table than the other minority banks. Yeah. We all raised our hand to serve. I kept the beaches of Pacific Beach safe. Yeah. In the 90s. But today, we have a lot of veterans coming back or at served over the last 20 years, and they have injuries, and we're trying to treat those people, but we're also trying to get them jobs, whether if it's at Robertson Ryan Great or one of the other veteran broker dealers. But we're actually trying to give back in other ways other than just monetary giving. So I think that veteran broker dealers actually kind of set themselves apart from the others in terms of, because veterans include everybody, right? Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, you name it, gay, lesbian, it doesn't matter. And we're giving back. Yeah. So that's, I think, a big part of what we do and what the kind of what we're trying to get out to everyone.
Makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about the IPO market, Pete. So it's been pretty muted, to say the least, the last couple of years. I feel like I keep hearing the same story. It's going to be next year. It's going to be next year. What are you hearing? You got 8 pairs of boots on the ground at New York Stock Exchange, also here at Nasdaq. What are you guys thinking?
Well, we're chasing. I have like a ridiculous spreadsheet that my interns came up with. They're awesome, and it's like over 300 companies, right? Yeah. The backlog's huge. Last year, compared to this year, I think we're seeing an IPO spring. I think it's going to thaw out. The last couple of years, obviously, 2022 was dead. 2023 was like a 40% increase from that, and then 2024 was a 40% increase from that. But right now we're at almost 40 IPOs this year, and I think that's a 40% increase of where we were last year at the same time. So I think things are beginning to thaw out. I think the markets are, the negatives are, we have volatility, right? The VIX is over 20. The average is usually, last year's average is about 15. People are a little hesitant. They're seeing the tariff action. There was some news out today about how the tariffs aren't going to be as expanded as they thought. Okay. Yeah, that was this morning. And then, but on the positive side, Well, when you have geopolitical risks that people are a little bit afraid of, and I think those things are going to start to calm down. But on the other side, the positives, we have like a kind of a new age coming, and they're calling it the golden age, the Trump administration. But I really believe that that's true. If you listen to, we talked about this earlier, the All In podcast, the All In guys, buddies of mine. Not really, but I always like to say that because I listen to them when I'm doing my yard work. I feel like I'm friends with them. They really, Chamath Palihapitiya and Dave Friedberg interviewed Secretary Lutnick for an hour, and they interviewed Secretary Bessent for an hour.
Yeah.
And they're phenomenal interviews, and they did a fantastic job. And they really gave them the opportunity to speak about what's happening.
Yeah.
And when you listen to it, you're going to come out of that with a very positive attitude about what's going forward. So I think that's really going to change and shift the momentum in a positive direction with what the administration's doing. I really do.
It makes a lot of sense. Now, this backlog, Pete, is this who are the owners of these private companies? Are a lot of them private equity backed?
Oh, yeah. I think, based on what I was reading, I think about 40% of the IPOs we see this year are probably private equity backed.
Yeah.
And they have tons of dry powder. Between PE and VC, it's like almost $3 trillion in dry powder.
Yeah.
So, but the backlog's huge, and I think investors want liquidity. Your LPs want liquidity, and then the PE funds themselves want liquidity because they want the people to take their money and their gains and like throw them back into the next fund, right? I mean, it only makes sense to do that. So, especially if they're winners. So, I think that's obviously something we've been waiting for. I think it's coming. I really do. I really think it's coming this year, especially in the crypto world.
Yeah.
Right. So one of our sister companies is called Calson Asset Management, and Brian Rathjen does a great job there running that. We invested 5 years ago in Dan Tampiero's 10T fund, which is a blockchain fund and the infrastructure and the picks and shovels of blockchain. Well, that investment was 5 years ago. We're going to probably see 3 unicorns this year.
Wow.
Gemini, Kraken, and Circle.
Okay, yeah.
They're all in the portfolio. I mean, we're going to start to see blockchain companies go public here soon, which is really going to kind of like shift the momentum and get some more attention into the blockchain space and certainly into crypto. And we have a very crypto-friendly administration now, so I think it's going to be very helpful.
All right, Pete. Well, this has been terrific. I think we're going to leave it there. This has been Pete Clarke, Senior Director at Robertson Ryan Investments. Pete, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me. And one more thing, John. Go Navy, beat Army.
All right. Thanks so much. I'm John Jannarone signing off from Nasdaq MarketSite.